Hello, I'm horror cartoonist Dennis St. John. I draw monsters and write twisted tales. As you can imagine, I was a little obsessed with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Lucky for me, so were most of my high school friends, all except one. One friend who stubbornly refused to join the Scoobies. So here we are, 20-some-odd years later. I'm teaming up with Doc Travis, John Teach Landis, and maybe a special guest or two. And we're going to make our friend, Michael Poley, watch one episode of Buffy a week until he's no longer the Buffy Virgin. Hey, welcome to Buffy Virgin, a spoiler-free Buffy the Vampire Slayer podcast. We're going to be out of sight with Season 5, Episode 4, Out of My Mind. I'm your host, Dennis St. John. Why don't the rest of you guys introduce yourself from longest to shortest commute times?
My name is John. My current commute time is around 80 minutes because I have to take a train to another train to get to work. So it's 80 minutes each way. It's kind of killing me right now.
Good Lord, dude.
Yeah, we're thinking about it. We may move. I may end up working somewhere else. We'll see what happens. It's pretty awful.
I'm Travis, and my commute time is around 6 minutes right now. So I'm very happy.
My name is Michael. I'm the Virgin. I've only seen Buffy up to Season 5, Episode 4, and my commute time is 0 because I'm working from home.
Wow. Fuck you guys.
My commute time, just in case anyone's interested, is either like 5 minutes or next week it's going to be like 45 minutes because I'm dog sitting again. So I thought that was really bad, but yeah, 80 minutes, dude.
I feel like we could have a whole show about commute times because I have a lot of stuff to bring up that I just have to hold back right now. A lot of questions, especially for John's commute. But
I know, yeah. But instead, let's listen to the summary provided by Michael.
The summary.
I'm thinking Cypress Hill, like insane, got no brain, but Riley, you know.
I have the endurance of 10 men.
Let's make it women, okay? Just for the imagery.
Whatever. Riley!
Just keeping you on your toes.
Or off him, as it were. What got into them?
No one's surprised I'm going insane. My occipital vein leaking red champagne, I'm a soldier. My superpower was murder. Captain America till I met the nerf herders. Used to buy my way protein in bulk, now I bounce and then bounce off bimbo She-Hulk.
Riley, I'm telling you, you need help.
I used to be the psych TA. Now I'm not certain I have DNA. My living situation is rat in a maze. I'm feeling okay going out in a blaze. Good luck finding me the initiative caves. My heart rate is normal, okay? I don't want to go to the doctor today. You knew who I was when you saw my balls poster. I'm into sports than more than most of your friends. How do you rate your last date with the Manchurian candidate? All I am now is vampire bait. Also, fuck Angel.
Please take me to where they can make me unconscious and naked.
All right, that was great. Let's do great lines.
Great lines.
Love this bedroom line. Buffy, I have the endurance of 10 men. Riley, let's make it a woman for the imagery. Or let's make it women for the imagery.
Oh, Buffy, when she's talking to Willow. Don't worry, Will. You still wear the smarty pants in the family. Real life is slow, and it's starting to hurt my occipital lobe. And Willow says to her, poor Buffy's brain, and she taps on her forehead. It's really sweet when those two are just talking about normal college stuff. So, yeah. I mean, God, I would watch a whole mini-series of them just going to class and talking about not monsters.
You just want to watch Gilmore Girls, I understand.
Well, I want to watch I want to watch what's called what you'd call it Willow-icity, like a Willow version of Felicity, like because Felicity's in college. Call it Willow-icity.
I'd watch that.
This is such a strange call for fan fiction of just people hanging out. Like you just want buddy fiction based on
not
the
fighting
universe.
life or death.
I feel like that's basically a thing.
Yeah. I think people write fan fiction with the Avengers not having powers. It's like, what?
But Willow-icity, if it exists, let us know.
I like in the opening moments Spike's blood stuff. So Buffy being like, Spike, I just saw you drink your own nose blood. And he's like, it's blood. It's what I do. And then like a couple seconds later, he's like, I will know your blood, Slayer. I will make you neck my chalice and drink deep. And then immediate pratfall, you know.
So I feel like that's the second time they've done that exact gag with Spike.
It's so silly. It's like this guy used to be a big bad. Now he falls through open holes.
He got a full monologue break in Angel when he opened an ep of Angel without a comic pratfall.
That's true, yeah.
But his monologue was like super homophobic.
Yeah.
He's a bad guy. Jerk. But he has a great moment with Harmony back and forth playing 20 questions, and I love their little back and forth. It's like, is it bigger than a bread box? No? Well, it's smaller than a bread box then. You know, Harmony, is it a Sonic bread box? That cracks me up every single time. I love that so much.
Awesome. Let's do the kill count.
The kill count.
I'm counting one human because I didn't see the guard wake up. But it wasn't confirmed, but I'm still counting it. And 3 vampires. All right, let's do weird noticings and trivia.
Weird noticings.
In the opening scene, Buffy is finally honing. Like Giles said she could in episode 1. She finally learned.
What is honing?
At the beginning when she's standing up on the crypt and she like is just like sensing, and then she like runs and stabs that vamp before he's even out of the grave. Remember back in the first episode, Giles is like, you should be able to tell if there's any vampires by just sensing them. And she's like, that one with the bad fashion sense. And he's like, well, yes, but you didn't hone.
Wow, great callback to that. Love it.
Isn't it great she stabs the vamp while they're in the ground still? That's a great gag.
So efficient.
Yeah.
From dust to dust.
Yeah. Oh, I love the Styx water joke and the monkey brains and in the magic shop.
Now, is it water from the river Styx, or is it water from the band Styx?
That's good. Is it the tears from the members of Styx? Who knows? Also, if it really was Styx water, that could only be like the most potent like water on the planet. I mean, that's ridiculous. That should be locked up in the Vatican or something. Like, it should not be in the magic shop that's had 20 different owners. Okay. I mean, that's like, you want to bring someone back to life, you just, you pour some of that Styx water down their throat and they're good to go.
This is sounding a lot like your character from D&D that's addicted to drinking any liquids.
Yeah, well, he's thirsty and hungry, depending on where I am with my diet in real life.
Would be very dangerous around the Styx water.
I guess I'm yes-anding what Travis said about Willowisity, this kind of fake show about Willow and Buffy going to class and not having any real problems, because I love Willow's intellectual fantasy about Buffy finally having opinions about the French Revolution. And I also always want to have my occipital lobe stimulated. But I never heard that concept. I like that idea.
I thought Willow and Tara were really cute this episode. They don't have a ton of scenes together, but they're good. They're a cute couple. That's all I'm saying.
Agree. Willow hand. That was great.
And I just want to say to the universe that I was right. The magic shop does sell candles. They're about $6. That was the listed price. Somebody told me that that it would be cheaper at a Walgreens. I'm sure they would. I'm sure they would be cheaper at a Walgreens, but I think they were probably still pretty special candles.
Also in the magic shop, Riley is a complete dick to tackle Buffy as a keep you on your toes move. That is not cool. If your friend is an assassin, you don't surprise them. That whole scene, I love it. It puts you on edge about Riley the whole episode, which they want. But I was just
there's clearly something off about Riley.
Yeah. They're so good at doing off acting. I mean, like, it's like, oh, something's off. Definitely off.
Oh, yeah. Buffy references Star Trek. And I was the one who wrote this down. I couldn't believe it.
Is the Q versus Q thing a real problem?
I mean,
Only to the
it's
writers
as
of
real as it
Buffy.
is in this episode, in that you're talking about one and then people get confused. I can definitely attest to that.
The problem is I was definitely not confused about the Bond Q. I was definitely like, oh no, it's the other Q.
I feel like in Universe Buffy they could go either way, so it is important. But I'm like, clearly she's talking about the Bond Q. But anyway.
So I just love the dummy that Xander builds. It's first of all, yeah, it's like a straw scarecrow, like the Wizard of Oz scarecrow. But then he put little fangs on it, and it's got like a cork nose, and it's got like googly eyes. It's great.
All right. Why don't John? Why don't you do another dive into HD details?
Yeah. So we actually get a pretty good look at Riley's new apartment, and there's this great shot from kind of high up, kind of a high angle shot, and you can really kind of dig the apartment. You see, it's a basement apartment. So Riley's living in a basement apartment, which is cool. And what I love, though, is that this image in this moment, he and Buffy are kind of post-coital. And there's some great little visual storytelling. If you look on the right-hand side down there, what you can see is there's an empty KFC bucket. So I think they had a sexy KFC date. I think that's the story here.
In the bed?
I mean,
I don't see a table.
Yeah, there's nowhere else for them to eat.
At least I'm not seeing any like bones like on the bed.
How much you want to bet that's just like leftover like from the crew, right? Like that doesn't.
Oh, you think Riley had his basketball friends over for a KFC?
No, I mean the production crew on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, that could totally be cut off.
That would be cut off in standard def. Yeah.
I know. I think it's way better my way. I think Riley and Buffy had like a sexy, like feeding each other KFC in bed, and then we're seeing the aftermath of that.
They had hot, greasy, fast food sex.
Riley has a bike. Who knew?
Well, we saw Willow's kind of like her, getting sexy time kind of set up when she was with Oz, right?
Right.
Like we haven't really seen Buffy's version. Well, maybe we have with her and Angel, but like
it's a lot more chains with Angel.
Yeah. The light version of that is just KFC bucket.
I'm digging that boombox he's got.
Yeah, it's nice, right? He also has a speaker on the floor connected to apparently nothing.
And an aluminum bat just ready to swing at whoever knocks on his door.
But this is way better than his previous bedroom with the balls poster.
And 2 months of newspapers. Just saving those newspapers for when he gets a rabbit.
Do you think he moved out of the frat house when he got kicked out of the initiative, or did he move out when he realized it was haunted by sex ghosts, or like when the initiative came crashing down? Like when do you think he actually moved out?
Well, I mean, he was a fugitive for a bit.
Yeah.
Did he? So I think did he lose all his stuff? I don't know. I don't know the mechanics of it, but I think he officially moved out of the initiative house when he was a fugitive from them.
That would make for an awkward roommate scenario.
Yeah, but they might have held on to his stuff, like in a boxed it up or something.
Yeah, I could see that.
It depends, whatever the agreement he signed when he started housing there, whatever it says.
So I really feel for Dawn in the scene where Joyce has her like episode and doesn't know who she is. Like, I totally know what it's like for a parent to like not recognize you, and it's like a very sucky feeling. So feel it for Dawn there. That's it.
Well, it's weird because that to me it's just reading like supernatural problems and not real problems. But maybe it sounds like it's interesting that you have the totally different take.
Well, it's like I've been thinking about this recently about how like you never know how like a piece of fiction is going to relate to you. Like you just because there's no way the fiction was written for you, so there's just literally no way to like to predict what's going to trigger you in different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. I could derail this. Sorry. So in a world where Buffy exists, Harmony is appropriately scared of Buffy, and I don't know why that's such a shock, but to see her not underestimate Buffy is amazing. And I'm like always applauding Harmony for like having big plans with clear execution points, but just not being smart enough to pull it off. But like, anyway, that's a great scene. And then this episode, I was talking to Travis for a minute before the show started. It just reminds me how much our culture sucks around medicine. Like, people are embarrassed and terrified to go to the hospital because of it would admit weaknesses of some kind. And even Joyce is like, oh, I'm so sorry to inconvenience anyone for having to go to the hospital. And like, for me, it was just this terror of weakness. Cause like in my adult life, I see that shit. And it's just, you see a friend who's injured or there's a thing, you're like, oh, you should check that. Or they're like telling you about some medical problem that bothers them. And you're like, oh, you should go to the doctor. They're like, ah, no. Like,
yeah.
You have a shaky hand that doesn't stop shaking. Why don't you? Okay, I mean, pray that it's nothing.
Is that your default response? Because that's a hilarious response.
Sorry, I mean, it was just a little tangent. Yeah. But everyone's terrified of going to the hospital. And it really culminates for me in that scene where Riley's playing basketball and the team's just trying to help him out. Like, hey, let's get you in. He's like, never. So paranoid that he has to fight everyone. Like, a gang of men tried to take you to the hospital because you're in trouble and you fought them off. This is our culture, because we were like, that makes sense.
I think Riley's basketball friends, like, because they clearly just met him because he got all new friends when he left the initiative. So these are like his new pickup basketball friends, and then they must think he's crazy because he's like, in the middle of the game, he's like, gotta go, guys, and then he immediately starts a fight with two strangers.
It's like a whole cadre of people. Yeah. It's like, oh, there's Riley. He's like really great at basketball, but he's kind of sometimes he just leaves randomly and gets into a giant fist fight with 3 random scary looking military dudes. It's like, but he's great at b-ball, so he can stay on our scrim.
What are you gonna do?
Part of our pickup game. Oh man, Willow is laying on Buffy's bed with her shoes on. Who else is like so disgusted with that?
I do that.
What?
John. I don't even like wearing shoes inside houses.
Yeah, that's bad news.
Something only Americans do. Wear shoes in houses.
Some Americans.
I didn't even notice that, but as soon as you posted, I saw that. I was like, oh shoot, and I rewatched that scene.
Yeah. In that scene, Don's spouting some crazy Castro effects that, according to the internet, are real.
Yeah, that Wikipedia rabbit hole is amazing. I love the one where they're like, apparently the CIA, like, not to kill him, but to make everyone think he was crazy. Apparently they put LSD inside his broadcast studio. He was doing his radio broadcast, hoping that he would have an acid trip on the air and make everyone think he was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. Don didn't even bring up the exploding cigar, which I think is the most famous example of this insanity.
I mean, it just shows, can't imagine what they're doing now.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that buffoonery can only continue. I was surprised that Riley went and got lost in the initiative caves. WTF initiative caves? I thought they filled those bitches with concrete. I thought there would be no way to get in or out. They did a poor job. And they overpaid whatever contractor they hired to fill those things up.
Those are the scary Adam caves. They're not really the initiative caves.
But they're adjoining, right?
Yeah.
And then moving on to other things that bother me about our culture, Harmony reacting to the no smoking sign is amazing and priceless. And it's evidence of what's wrong with our dumb legal landscape. We literally have to have the laws printed up and put in front of us where we might commit a crime so we don't do it. And I don't know, that was some kind of trigger for me. My dad's a lawyer, whatever. And every time there's an accident or some issue, where someone let's say you park illegally, literally, can you see a sign that says don't park here? If you can't, then it's cool. And that dumbness is so true. But anyway, I love not respecting someone, but respecting the law.
Yeah.
Because
the power of signs. Yeah.
But we're made paranoid in our culture. So. For reasons. And then I want to ask so many questions about this medical procedure under duress. And it seems really smart to get a medical procedure done in this way. And for some reason, the way that people do this in movies, you get strapped in and let's do this. Is getting a medical procedure going on a roller coaster ride? You're strapping the fuck in for whatever happens. Let's do this.
This episode's so crazy for so many reasons. But like there's so much wrong with it because the way they describe what's wrong with Riley, he needs an endocrinologist, not a neurologist. But with what's wrong with Spike, he needs a neurosurgeon, not a neurologist. So they kind of whiffed on both parts because a neurologist is not going to remove an experimental chip from your brain. That's just not. They don't do that. That's a neurosurgeon. And then they wouldn't care what's going on with your hormones. They'd care, but they wouldn't. They wouldn't be the specialist for Riley.
I mean, the guy literally says, "I've never done this procedure before."
Yeah.
And Spike's like, "Strap it in, let's do it." Like, you don't want this doctor. Also, any human would say, "I've never done this procedure before." Like,
it's so weird.
Yeah, I wrote down that Graham says hyperadrenal overload because I wanted to ask you, is that a real thing? Does that make sense? Hyperadrenal overload?
I never heard of that exact phrase, no. But that's the adrenal gland is part of the endocrinology system. So that's why I'm saying if they messed with your adrenal gland, then that's who you'd want to take care of you. I think they're just trying to to describe something that probably can occur, but not like how this occurs. So it's very silly.
All right. I'm so glad we have a doctor on staff to help us understand this. Speaking of doctors, Buffy was like really dumb to let Spike know all this initiative info. Like, Buffy legit forgets who Spike is a lot.
Yeah.
Does Buffy also not know how money works? She just rips money in half.
Well, that works.
later.
Yeah, that works because you have to have both serial numbers for the money to be valid. So Spike will get all of the money at the end when she gives him the other half. It's like a poor man's escrow. Is tearing the bills in half.
I was just sort of freaking out. I'm like, that's just not how money works.
I was also thinking, like, Buffy doesn't have a job. That's still like her allowance from Joyce that she's tearing up.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the like sequel to this scene where like Spike has like some scotch tape.
Yeah. Look at all the pretty money. Yeah, and he did not get that other half. That's just torn up money.
Yeah, so money's just
nobody
lost now.
wins.
Yeah.
So Buffy's all like, oh, like first she's like, I'm still here, and then she's like, you can get yourself home and take care of yourself after heart surgery, right? Bye.
Yeah.
That shit was rough.
I assume he's got like another day in the hospital. Like the hospital taking care of him.
No. You saw him walking out on his own 2 feet.
Oh,
Graham was like talking to him right after.
Oh, that's
the heart
right.
surgery.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. They're walking out.
That makes whatever happened to him made no sense. I mean, it just makes no sense.
I mean, I know Buffy wasn't going to drive him home anyway because she doesn't have a car, but like, yeah, walking home from your apartment. I assume he's not taking his bike at least.
No, that's back at his place. We didn't take that to the basketball spot. So this episode just reminds me that there's so many surrogate Buffys on this show. Like Harmony, Darla, Kate, they're all kind of have that Buffy look. And I wonder, just from a casting perspective, are these all people that auditioned for the role of Buffy? And then Joss or whomever is like, okay, I actually want all of them. I want all the top people who played Buffy in the audition to be on my show and play opposite every male lead on the show.
To make things simple.
I think a lot of the casting is like Amy the Witch auditioned for Buffy, you know? So I think there was a lot of pulling from that. Yeah. But definitely like Kate was definitely purposely cast to be similar to Buffy. Like it's not a coincidence, right?
Yeah, and Darla was up to play Buffy as well. And so that's an inversion that Travis pointed out to me. Or maybe we've all pointed it out different times in that first episode where Darla is the vamp. So there's a two flip. One, is it Buffy who's is there, and then she's also a vampire. But then Harmony, I don't know if whatever Mercedes McNabb was auditioned for Buffy as well.
I don't know. That's a good question.
But she takes Buffy in a different direction, which is this total Valley Girl, whatever kind of dumb Buffy, which would be like the most traditional version of a Buffy. you would think?
Yeah, it's the original Buff. Yeah.
Probably closer to the Buffy and Buffy the movie. Is that true? Or am I?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. She totally would have been like one of Buffy's friends in the movie. She totally reads as that type of character.
No
and Mercedes is great. Like, I'm always happy when Harmony is in an episode because she's great. She's so funny. Like, and like this episode doesn't have a lot going for it, but it had her.
Yeah.
Unless you care about Riley.
Hello.
Yeah, it's a big one for the Riley people.
I actually kind of like season 5. I don't like season 5 Riley, but I like season 5 Riley a lot more than season 4 Riley. But this episode shows that even he's not strong enough to pull a whole episode.
Willow and Anya do make a joke about Anarchy Riley. They don't even make a joke. They're like, oh, remember he used to hang out at that burned out school once.
Back when he was cool.
Anarchy Riley was so cool.
Did you guys notice when Spike was like walking away, he makes this like comment about Buffy with her shampoo commercial hair? And I thought like initially this was like a reference to a shampoo commercial that Sarah Michelle Gellar may have been on at the time, because she did a lot of commercials. But she's never done a shampoo commercial, so that is not a reference to that. She did a lot of makeup ads at the time. And when she was a kid, she was in like McDonald's and Burger King commercials and stuff, which you can find on YouTube. And I spent a bunch of time watching today.
Yeah, I don't know. At the end, when Spike has the dream and he's like, oh no, like, should Spike really worry about the content of his dreams right after brain surgery?
I mean, I imagine I would have dreams about brain surgery.
There's so much like dismissive, like, I don't know. This episode's so dismissive of how hard it is to go through surgery. Like,
it's like an outpatient procedure for brain surgery and the heart surgery. It's like, God.
All right. I think that's all our weird noticings and trivia. So let's do some questions for the group.
Questions for the group.
All right. Well, this is just an extension of weird noticings. Some of these here. But how do you take a rager like Riley to the hospital? I have a plan, by the way. I just wanted to see if people had some ideas. How would you take care of a rager?
Tranquilizer gun.
Oh, shit. Never mind. That's a better plan.
Just get a gang of guys to beat him up on the basketball court, obviously.
I was going to say you set up a hospital room like a like a gym, and you make the bench where you would do the lifting kind of the operating chair, right? And so then he thinks he's going to be lifting weights, and that's when you strap him in. You pretend to spot him, and you strap him in. That's how you catch a rager. Okay, everyone's thrilled. This is a great plan.
That's good.
Catch a rager sounds like some horrible euphemism. I really caught a rager.
I caught a rager last night, bruh.
So this is, speaking of Riley, gosh, Riley's so much fun this episode. Where do people search for you if you're missing? So with Riley, first stop, apartment, gym, then library. And I don't believe the library thing. But anyway.
And then caves.
Then initiative caves.
A burned out husk of a school. Caves.
Right. Riley has like the 3 normal places, and then after that, it's just like fucking AWOL. So I think for me, if you're looking for me, you're like house, right? I actually library. I actually go to many libraries now. I go to 3 different libraries because I have multiple library cards from surrounding counties. So that's a legit thing. I mean, I'm not going to a gym. But there's totally a local bar, right? I got the bar down the street. There's the coffee place next to it. So that's like a 2-for-1. That's easy. Maybe the comic shop. Maybe Powell's. Then the Pro Photo rental place. And then it's like, then it goes to the Initiative Caves.
How many places do you frequent before it goes into cave territory?
Yeah, that's probably a better question rather than the total like track my behavior thing I just did. So maybe if we could cut that, that'd be great. This is probably not a good question. Sorry.
Now we know how to surveil Michael.
Yeah. I think I'm pretty much just like home, work, train, caves. I don't
Yeah, definitely catch John in his commute some point.
Yeah.
That shit is real.
Clapham Junction, baby.
Oh,
Every
within
day.
that theme, then I'm like home or caves. Just like that.
Yeah, I guess I'm homework. Yeah, a local bar. I'm at Whole Foods a lot.
Yeah, I don't really want to call out my bar behavior. It feels weird. I'm like, yeah, I want to do good there.
I go to a life drawing every Wednesday now, so you might be able to catch me there. Yeah.
I'm like homework, grocery store, like neighborhood track. There's like a school here that has a track that I walk on.
Oh,
Cool.
I thought you were like the betting track, but the neighborhood one.
You know, the one where we're just racing, a Shih Tzu and a Pekingese.
Please, everybody knows Travis does off-track betting. Come on.
Once we raced a frog and a salamander. Took all day.
That's no contest. Obviously, the frog wins.
So Dawn's musings, she has a little moment before this like scene that's you're not sure what it's about until Joyce has a stroke or something. So did you ever make the substitute cry? And is that a real game, making the sub cry?
Yes.
John question.
Yes.
I remember being mean to the substitute.
This is a John question.
That is a John question, sorry.
Kids are the worst to subs, and I never made the substitute cry because I was pretty good as a kid to teachers. But I have definitely been tortured as the like sub. When you're like in somebody else's classroom, kids are the worst.
How do they torture you?
They'll just like you're there. They give you work, like you have to get the kids to do the work, and they just straight up don't. And then you're like, you need to do the work. What's your name? And they're like, I'm not gonna tell you my name. And you're like,
Shit.
well, I got nothing now. I got nothing because I've never met you in my life. Because like every discipline procedure is based on knowing their name, and so if you don't know their name, they're invincible.
Wow, it really is like, it's like a magic. Like,
Yeah.
Can you number them?
Can you number them? I have, but that doesn't really
I'll
help.
just number them
the
starting
discipline
at the
office.
front.
I just take a phone pic of them, right? Unless that's weird.
I think that's weird.
Definitely weird.
That's
That is
definitely
way
weird.
weirder than numbering these children.
I've definitely had some asshole kids when I was like doing like a one-day comic teaching thing, like coming into a middle school, and they are just complete shits to me. But I'm like, this is a voluntary class. Why are you here to just be an asshole? Like,
Yep.
go to study hall. Fuck.
Yeah, middle schoolers are the worst.
Oh my god, they're the worst.
They're
Yeah.
the worst. Big part of my day. Doing it tomorrow.
Well, then Joyce isn't like negative enough about this kind of behavior.
No, she's not. No, she's not. It's really awful. It's also normal. I mean,
What a terrible! It's like you can't just be a temp worker at a school because kids like are like, I don't know you. Who
yeah,
are
that's
you?
exactly what they're like.
I mean, is it like being a temp worker at a prison? I wonder. Like if you're just guard for the day or a weekend guard.
That sounds better, actually.
Well, you have power there, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I'm locking this down.
They want something from you. Middle schoolers don't want anything from the teacher.
Right? They don't even want to
substitute.
be there. They
Well,
don't
some
wanna
want
learn.
like validation and attention.
Oh yeah,
That's
a lot
true.
of that's a lot of middle schoolers really want that. But
So, do you think that's a
It's
job that everyone should do at least once? Like, people think that you should be a server and stuff, that you should be a middle school sub.
no. I
That
would
sounds
say
like it would be bad for the middle schoolers.
yeah,
It's just
that
like,
definitely. But I would say
just
also
doing
like
this for the experience.
sometimes people will substitute to see if they want to do teaching, and I think that would probably send you running because like it's way better than that. Like subbing is like all the worst parts of teaching and none of the advantages.
It's like having your first day of school forever.
Yeah.
All right, my final question for the group, but maybe just for Doc Trav. How do you ensure the doctor does a good job during your hostage care situation? Like if you take a doctor hostage to perform a medical procedure, how do you assure they do a good job?
Well, the first thing would be to try and make sure they don't know they're a hostage.
How does that work?
This is some Inception shit.
Well, I mean, what you could do, most people respond to when they respond very well when someone's in trouble. So I think you could get pretty far along if you could just appear as if you are in enough trouble.
Okay, so your point is doctors mainly care and want to help you.
Yeah.
So you don't really need to hold a gun to their head to get them to help you.
You don't.
What if you're, an evil vampire with a chip in his brain?
Right. Well, you could have bluffed your that chip out of the brain. Like, say it was, causing you seizures, or you could lie about things it was causing, or it's making you want to kill children. Because I'm sure a doctor would be like, you know what? Maybe we should take that chip out of your brain if it's causing you to have homicidal thoughts towards little children. There's ways to get what you need done.
So my question around this, though, was, Travis, if you put yourself in this position where there's, somebody's got a crossbow to your head and they want you to perform a kind of surgery that's not your specialty, how well do you think you'd do?
Poorly. I'm sure I would be dead if I had to do something I was never trained to do.
So it's not like you have enough general medical knowledge to kind of pull it off.
I cannot, not now or ever, just kind of do brain surgery. No matter how many crossbows you point at me, I'm not going to unlock some magic part of my brain that's like, oh, that's how you do the brain surgery.
Okay, good to know.
It's not like, oh man, I made hollandaise sauce, 5 years ago in culinary school, but I could probably whip up something that's similar to hollandaise sauce. It's like, no, you never did that.
I love the hollandaise sauce metaphor. It makes me feel like being a doctor is just like, which recipe do I use?
No, I think it's not like a recipe that you can fudge. You can fudge a hollandaise recipe.
If I get this ratio a little bit bad, it's not like it tastes bad. It's like somebody dies.
Yeah.
I mean, we do need to remember that Spike is basically immortal. So the stakes are kind of lower for him, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. The stakes were definitely low. I don't know, the stakes.
It's not like he's going to get an infection.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's more like a practice on a corpse, like when you're in med school, if you're operating on a vampire.
I mean, it would have been funny if they had, what's that board game where you have to take things out of somebody's body? Operation. It would be great if Spike brought a board game version of Operation and showed the doctor, you just do this. Just do what you do in this board game, okay? You do that, you live.
Does this happen, though? I mean, it has to. Is it only in movies where doctors get the situation? I mean, I know our medical situation is bad in the United States. It's like, I need care now. Also, I have no money.
Oh, yeah, there's that movie, Denzel Washington, John Q. Public, where he takes a doctor hostage to operate on his son because he doesn't have health insurance. That is not a good movie.
Sadly enough, most people just murder doctors. So hostage taking would be an upgrade.
Oh, they just murdered them. Got it.
Yep.
Is that are doctors targets for homicide because people are angry that their health didn't go the way they planned?
Yes.
I see. Oh, that's depressing.
Yeah. Thanks, Trav. You were not aware of that.
I would definitely take being held hostage over being murdered.
4 out of 5 doctors agree. Being taken hostage is preferable to being murdered.
This seems like a good place to move on to themes and deep stuff then.
Deep stuff.
So a general theme, I think, so far this season has been blood. They've talked about blood a lot. Just something to keep in mind. And I wanted to talk about that Spike and Riley this episode are both obsessed over their strength, losing strength, or trying to gain their strength back. And I mean, it's just kind of interesting because the show is against both of them having this power. But is it a critique of toxic masculinity? Discuss. I don't know.
No, it totally is. Especially the Riley parts. The way that he feels like he has to specifically be at least as powerful as his girlfriend in order to feel valued.
Riley wouldn't allow himself to be supported. He had a team of people. Hey, bro, things aren't looking so great. We should get you into the hospital. We got it all lined up for you. We have the doctor. We have everything taken care of. What? No, I don't trust you.
Punching.
I think if the three of you or a group of random people told me it was time to go to the hospital, it's time for me to go.
I mean, in fairness, though, like you were like he does have like some legit trauma from and like trust issues about how he was treated by the government in the past. I think those arguments he makes are not completely insane.
He also, well, like the last medical procedure he had done, he did himself.
An insane medical procedure.
Well, that's probably why he's thinking he doesn't need to go to the hospital. It's like, if my adrenal gland's bugging me, I'll just get a broken bottle and just take care of that. DIY it.
Riley's so self-reliant.
He's gonna like have like a YouTube channel, and once YouTube comes out in a few years, it's gonna be like, medical life hacks.
Oh, Riley, his life is such a mess right now, and just seeing it totally spiral out in this episode is like, it's kind of a joy, and I'm sad that you guys didn't enjoy it as much, but watching him get lost in the initiative caves and shit, it's just like this. It reminds me of I can't remember the name of the episode in the last season where Riley like pulled a gun on a stranger at Willie's bar.
Yeah.
It just has that vibe of like unhinged Riley,
right?
Where it's just like, nah, can't find me, and like. And I'm a little shocked that Buffy treats him like a human being in the initiative caves. And it's like, hey, look, stop being such a tough guy. I'm serious. And he's just like, ah.
Yeah, he's punching a wall.
I'm fine. I can just do this for the rest of my life.
I'm curious to see where it goes, though, because I don't know what you all know what the show's philosophy is on this at this point, but it hasn't really. It's communicated the theme, but hasn't communicated the meaning or the idea that they're actually believing. Because like, I actually have a prediction here, which I'll just say because I think weak Riley isn't going to be enough for Buffy, and that weak Riley is a problem for her because she's so strong. But like, I don't know if the show feels that or not. I'm just making a guess because like. He has this fear and paranoia that people think he's weak. And then there's a conversation or whatever that he hears back about where Buffy said, I like weak Riley, and even though it's, I like him, he doesn't hear that. He hears weak Riley.
Yeah. She also, at one point, this episode is like, if I wanted to date somebody with superpowers, I'd date Spike. And it's like, why'd you bring Spike up right now? Yeah, there's a lot of other people you could have brought up.
Well, my point of that is even though the show's like, he alpha male toxic masculinity, she's still playing that same game by calling out, I know you're different now and that strength isn't a thing for you now, but I still care about you. And it's like, whoa, wait, my weakness is a part of why you like me.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't think we could say much, but
yeah.
Okay.
Like, I like what you're saying, but yeah. I mean, there's definitely a thing there where I mentioned earlier where she's like, see, I'm still here. Bye. Like,
right. And Spike's weakness, is he can't admit apparently that he's in love with Buffy in any way because it's his mortal enemy. And he's caught between it in a much more fucked up place where it's like, I want to drink her blood and murder her. I need to be with her. Like, I've never been to that place. That seems like a very scary place to be. Thank God.
I do like the idea that like Buffy is training for the first time and is getting stronger and everything. And it's just like, she could have been this strong this whole time if she just put the effort in. Like, no wonder like back in high school, Giles was always like, just fucking train.
Gosh, I'm reading James Clear's Atomic Habits right now, and it makes me have all those regrets for like, why wasn't I working on this stuff?
All right, I think that's it for themes and deep stuff. Let's do recommendations.
Recommendations.
So I was thinking brain surgery, so I recommended The Brain That Wouldn't Die and Get Out. Get Out is amazing. The Brain That Wouldn't Die is just funny, old movie. Get Out obviously came out a couple years ago, is really amazing. And then I was thinking, Riley, this episode kind of has the powers of Darkman. It's the same, like, he can't feel pain and he's stronger than he should be because of his adrenal gland. So I will recommend the best of the Darkman movies, which is Darkman 3, Die, Darkman, Die, with Jeff Fahey as Darkman.
Is that the best one? I've only ever seen the first one. Is that...
Well, it's like we can't really recommend a Liam Neeson movie at this point, But there's nothing wrong with Jeff Fahey. He's
Wait, what
solid.
did Liam Neeson do?
He's racist as hell now.
Oh,
What?
God damn
What
it! I didn't know that.
But those are my recs. Just some quick recs. Also, Darkman 3 has the best title, Die Darkman Die. So let's do predictions.
Virgin predictions.
Okay, predictions. So, looking at our stats, Michael, your overall accuracy is currently at a 62.5. Your accuracy so far for things that happen in season 5 is currently at an 83%. So this is currently your most accurate season. However, I kind of think that it may that may change in the future, but it's not going to change today because I don't think I have anything to confirm or deny for today. Dennis, did you get a chance to look at the prediction sheet? I know you sometimes look at it.
I didn't. Yeah.
Because I looked through it, I couldn't find anything that was addressed in this episode at all.
Well, that's because it's a filler episode, John, and there isn't anything that's happening of note.
Yeah, it is a bit of a filler episode.
Yeah. I think I found 2 predictions that are true.
Oh,
that we can
okay.
award.
Go ahead, Travis.
So number 270 on the little line, Spike will preemptively attack a demon. For some reason that's open.
Oh,
Didn't he
yeah.
attack?
I think Spike definitely has done that and definitely did that this episode. Good call.
Yeah.
Good call. That's confirmed.
Thanks,
yeah.
Travis. Looking out.
I always look out for you. And then there's one where Cordelia will temporarily become evil. Yeah, number 123.
1, 2, 3.
And she did that in the episode she got possessed by the hacksaw demon's spawn, right?
Oh, in Expecting.
Expecting. She was, she hit.
Thanks, Travis.
Am I right on that? Am I overreading
Yeah, that all seems correct. Yeah, those are some oversights. I definitely missed those. In that case, Michael, your accuracy for season 5 is shot up to an 85. Your overall accuracy up to 62.8.
This is amazing.
So you're doing quite well.
You're all wonderful people. All right, well, I have some new predictions. Prediction 1, and as we've kind of stated, I'm going to put more prediction points into a super prediction, but I'm going to set up with the basic predictions. These are each worth 1 point if they're right. So first, Riley will take another drug to become as powerful as Buffy. He can't be weak Riley. He's got to do it. He cannot help it. Second prediction, based on what we said in themes, deep stuff, weak Riley isn't going to be enough for Buffy. And that's a little bit ambiguous. But I think it's as simple as when your gym rat boyfriend gets an injury, maybe you guys break up because you can't go to the gym together. Third one, Spike will dream about Buffy again. Even though the Spike Buffy thing is totally going to happen and Spike wants it so bad, apparently they just need to really make it super clear that he's acting on dream stuff or something. So he needs to dream about her again. This isn't enough foreshadowing for me as a viewer. I need to see this over multiple episodes to start running my wheels about this happening. 4, Tara is going to set up a psychic reading spot at the magic shop. Question, is it called the magic shop?
The magic box.
The magic box, yeah.
Okay, the magic box. My mistake. Right. And then super prediction, Joyce is going to die of non-supernatural causes. I think I may have predicted that Joyce is going to die, but I thought it,
yes.
Did I say it was a monster or whatever?
Let me double check. You have predicted that a supernatural monster will appear at Joyce's art gallery. And let's see. Where is it? There it is. Your prediction goes all the way back to season 2, and it is simply 3 words: Joyce will die.
Okay. Well, I want to add to that. So a new prediction: Joyce will die of non-supernatural causes.
Okay.
Which is Joyce will die, but is a more specific version. She's clearly, her body is going to get her.
Okay. So if that is true, then you'll get 6 points. 5 for this new prediction and 1 for the old one. If it's wrong,
I don't want that to be my victory episode. I'm just saying.
Oh my God, there's so many open predictions.
Yes, there are a lot of them.
Oh my god.
All things we can worry about later, by the way. Don't overwhelm yourself with the future. That's tomorrow's problems.
That's right.
I just got that written on the wall here. Yeah.
Oh.
Don't worry about tomorrow's problems today.
Great. I think that's predictions.
Oh, here's one that it's still open, but
Oh, geez.
the
Okay, what is it?
the closest it's come. Former members of the initiative will form a support group.
Oh,
I feel like that could have happened this episode, but didn't.
right. I think we need to leave that open.
All right, I think that's the up. So yeah, I'll sign off. I've been Dennis St. John, at DNISCOMIX on Twitter, and that's my website also. You can look for my book Land of Many Monsters and many more monster tales on Amazon. And I have 3 illustrations in the newest issue of Monster! Issue 34. It's by WK Books, who are the same people who published Land of Many Monsters. So I do some illustrations for some articles in this. It's a good book. It's a magazine, but it's super fat, so check it out. Mike, what are you working on?
My YouTube channel, I'm MP197400 until I change it to Michael Poley. But anyway, I'm on YouTube, and I do weekly YouTube videos every Friday on a thing that I'm interested in. Last week it was maps. This week it'll be about making text-based text adventures, and that'll be out by the time you check this out.
Awesome. So thank you one and all for listening and talking to us at Buffy Virgin. You can visit our website, buffyvirgin.com, for links to our blog, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Reach out. We love to hear from you. And don't forget to rate and review us on the podcast listener of your choice. And we'll see you all in hell.